Hey, I'm Agent Davis, and to my left, we got Agent Alfonso. How
How's it
you
going,
doing, Agent
everybody?
Alfonso?
I'm doing
Yeah,
great, man. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
thanks for joining me, sir. As many of you know, if you read the title, this is the Truth Is Not Here podcast, where we're going to go into deep dives of the X Files. I am your resident expert with my resident skeptic here, who's never seen X Files at all, apparently.
It's true. It's true. I'm very sorry for this.
See, I was gonna ask you what your first introduction to X Files was, but apparently you don't have any. Apparently it was just now, like
Yeah,
5 minutes ago.
yeah. I only knew of X Files just because it was on the previews on Fox when I was watching Simpsons as a kid.
hmm The
So
classic Simpsons episode as well.
yeah, absolutely. For years you have talked up this show so much, and we've always talked about watching it together, and now we're gonna do it. What better time than quarantine to actually do this?
On a side note, can I tell you, like, I never thought anybody was gonna watch X Files with me. I just maybe everyone was too late to the game. I
Mm.
remember back in the day, fellow friends of ours would watch Supernatural, and they were so into it, and I hated them for it because I was like, X Files is so much better. I was like, I watched a pretty good amount of Supernatural episodes, and I enjoy that for the most part. But I was like, they're jocking off of X Files so
Right.
much. I was so mad, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, let me do my little housekeeping. For those of you watching on YouTube, like and subscribe to shit. Obviously, give us comments. Anything we might have missed, anything you like, anything you add to it. And for those listening at home, please rate and share this shit. And if you're feeling generous enough, go to anchor.com and then find The Truth Is Not Here podcast and donate to us because we're very poor and can use a few bucks here
For more
and there.
paranormal research and, and
Yes,
stuff,
please fund our X Files research. All right, so I got well, yeah, I was gonna ask you all your extra shit, but you ain't got it, so I will tell you this though, sir. At the end of the episode, I want to know whether you like this episode or not. And at the end of the season, I do want to have a ranking of best to worst episodes in the whole entire season. Do you
Oh,
think you're
that's awesome.
up for the
Absolutely.
challenge? Okay,
That's I'm
cool.
excited for that.
Good. I'm glad. Because if not, you're still gonna have to do
That's right. That's my
it.
assignment.
So getting into here, let's see. The first season on IMDb has a 8.4 score.
So
And
rated
then
pretty high.
Yeah, not bad, right? And then
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes has 93% on the thermometer and 96% audience score. Feeling pretty good about that. How about you?
Yep. So far, so good,
So
man.
far, so good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, a little bit about this episode. This is obviously the pilot episode. This aired on September 10th, 1993. Was written by Chris Carter and directed by Robert Mandel. I'm going to try and keep track of these guys as we go because I think
Okay.
that shit's kind of interesting.
No
So,
relation to Howie Mandel.
no, not that I've known, not that I could find.
Bobby's world.
So this dude, Robert Mandel, best known for his film School Ties, which launched the careers of Brendan Fraser, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Cole Hauser, and Chris O'Donnell. So go figure that.
Right.
I've never even heard of this movie. And
I haven't heard of Chris O'Donnell since 1996. So,
yeah, 96, 97,
yeah.
Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Wasn't he on one of those CSI Miami shows or something? Obviously not probably not Miami, but one of those procedural cop
Yeah.
shows.
It's kind of like the last step out for random cameo celebrity appearances.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. So says he also went on to become a successful film director, TV series and stuff. He's done Lost, Nash Bridges, The Practice. He did this pilot episode of X Files and did some Prison Break stuff. So, apparently he did. Was the original director hired for Carrie 2. Say you're sorry, but quickly left production over creative differences. Don't they all?
Right? He's like, we don't need a second movie to carry. What else are you gonna do?
Then for this episode, we got some guest stars. So we got Charles Siafi is Scott Blevins. He's done some TV work. He was Vic Androsi from Shaft, the original Shaft
Oh,
show.
okay.
Kojak, Frasier, Wings, 30 something NYPD Blue. So he's got pretty substantive shit going on here in the TV world. A team, sorry, I'm reading as I'm talking and it's not working out so well. A team is Gianni Christian. So there you go.
Okay.
Oh, for my gaming nerds out there, he also voiced Chairman Prescott and Adam Phoenix in the 360 game Gears of War 2.
Hmm.
How's that? Yeah.
It's random.
Cliff DeYoung is the Dr. Jay Noonman, Leon Rossum as Detective Miles. So, Detective Miles. Obviously, we were talking about the Big Lebowski, the Malibu police chief. Don't like your jerk off face. I don't like your jerk off name. I don't like you jerk off. So, and the dude Billy Miles, he's done little TV stuff here and there, MacGyver, shit like that, I believe.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of background on the guest stars. Because coming up, you're gonna see a lot of familiar faces, my friend.
I'm excited.
I
I
know.
think it's so
Just
cool.
wait till we get to the next week's episode, dude.
Oh no.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. So,
Dude, I'm glad.
the premise of this podcast is that, you've obviously been through this whole entire series before. I have not. I am not looking up anything prior to any of these episodes. So,
I admire your dedication, sir. I'm gonna say
absolutely.
that up front.
Hell yeah, man. I think it's just going to be fun to experience something. I think it's the best when you get with a friend or somebody that you care about and you get to show them that thing and you get to see their reaction, you know what I mean, for the first time. So it's been
Usually
very
it don't work out because you overhype shit.
yeah, yeah, I get that. But I don't think that this will disappoint because
I'm glad you're open minded.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm just excited to dive in. It really stunk because we watched this episode and like as soon as I saw the credits, it's like, oh man, like I gotta go. We're gonna do this, which I'm excited about too. Then we gotta wait like a whole other week just to like watch another episode
I
together.
know it's like living back in the '90s again, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Or
Yeah,
watching Mandalorian.
yes, that's very true
How
too.
crap is that? But I don't know, man. Let's get into the plot, I guess. So, all right. So the first, all these episodes are gonna have a cold open, which is something that's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Supernatural does this shit too. I think maybe all these sci-fi shows kind of do that. Maybe that's the draw of the episode. But this is where we see teenagers getting what go into the forest, dark. It's all dark. A shadowy figure approaches, and then you see the light, and then all of a sudden we got two. What would you call those? Bite marks? Claw
Yeah,
marks?
it's weird because in like the very first shots of it, they look like bite marks, but as we progress more into the episode, they kind of almost look like these like pinkish kind of moles. You know what I mean? So they kind of change
Yeah,
a little
I think I got two of these on my body somewhere. So it should be noted we're in Belle Fleur,
Mhm.
Oregon, and
Okay.
the lady that was taken, Karen Swanson, fleeing the forest at night. When she falls, the dark figure approaches. They both become enveloped in the light. That's
Mhm.
when they find the bodies, and then this is where you would normally get your your intro, but there's no intro for this one. They couldn't
No,
pay that guy yet.
the thing I do want to say right off the bat is once you see the light and everything, and then the swirling around with the leaves and everything like that, it you want to say that it's got that piloty feel, but I think because they skipped the whole beginning, it just kind of dove in. It kind of more felt like a movie to me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right?
Hmm.
Um, for a pilot episode, I really think this is pretty well done.
Hmm.
Considering this was '93, and
Hmm.
especially with the sci-fi, especially if you get like the special effects, some of them don't hold up. But I feel like this episode was pretty good. I
It
mean, not that
definitely
they did anything crazy.
no, no. Well, like even like the lighting effects, like you could tell that it wasn't just like a bunch of lights, like they actually cleaned it up digitally. You know what I mean? And shout out to Hulu for showing that HD presentation, man, because that would look great. Everything looked great.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, all
Mhm.
these '90s shows don't really hold up so well, but I thought this
Mhm.
one was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it didn't feel cheesy at all. It felt very kind of like crime drama-y with a little bit of dark comedy. And as you had said, I don't know. I think I should just let you say it right off the bat. What did we have between Mulder and Scully?
There's sexual tension. That's
Sexual
what I'm feeling.
tension.
Like I didn't like pay as much attention to it in my initial
Mhm.
watching of all this because I went and bought all the DVDs like 10, 15 years ago, set in my room, just watched them piece by piece, and always had a huge crush on Scully, so I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. But going back and be able to watch these again and pick up
Mhm,
on all these things, it's like it's definitely set to where you could. And that's the thing too. Like so when we get into Scully, we're gonna talk about her in a second. But I know Fox, the actual channel, wanted to have like a bustier blonde chick instead of instead of what we got with Gillian Anderson.
mhm.
But I'm glad because Gillian Anderson's hot,
Yeah,
like
no, I
those pouty lips.
mhm. Well, she had more of that dark aura, and especially
And
for you
she's more believable if you
yeah,
want to play the skeptic. Let's be honest.
absolutely. Yep, she looks like a just like a normal American, you know what I mean? And, I think just on top of it, you and I are attracted to more of that darker kinda, you know.
More girl next door kind of thing,
There
right?
you go, there
Does
you
that
go.
that work?
Yep, absolutely, thank you for that. We're into the solid Bs.
Yeah.
We don't do
So
good
yeah,
A
there you go.
pluses.
And
But
obviously this is it was Chris Carter's decision to have her come on instead of some bustier blonde-ear chick. So
mhm,
and then she's modeled after Jodie Foster from Silence of the Lambs, was the first thing you probably noticed.
mhm,
The way she's
absolutely.
dressed, the hairstyle, just that whole mold.
Everything, the walk, the kind of like defeated aura around her, you know what I mean? Like being that brand new like the country girl in the big city. Not that Oregon was a big city, but at least like the big show when she got hooked up with Mulder. So
Well,
absolutely.
when we first meet her, it's in DC, and I guess that's when they kind of call her. But yeah, like I mean, I know you were joking about this, but every time like the cigarette smoking man would come by, you'd like 2 coffees, please. And
Right.
even the little what would you call her? The nurse in the hospital later on
Mhm,
doesn't even talk directly to her. She's just like
mhm.
talking to Mulder. What is she
Yep.
doing when she's
Yep.
like inspecting him? But that's
Absolutely.
neither here nor there. So you can see like there's obviously, especially with Starling from Silence of the Lambs too, there's like no respect there.
No, no, not at
So
all.
she's kind of got to earn it and
Yep.
do her
Yep.
thing. So
But you could tell, like, from the get-go that she's gonna be, definitely a worthy partner. You know what I mean? She was already thinking outside of the box and shit like that. Like, I don't wanna, like, skip ahead. Wait, yeah. So I don't know if you wanna keep going or because I don't wanna, like, my reference point to be ahead in the
well, let
story,
me
but
say this. This is like
yeah.
Scully's, well, not Scully, but Gillian Anderson's first real big fucking role.
Is it really?
Yeah, like she had
Wow.
done a couple other things, but this is yeah, you could probably tell there's a little bit of nervousness maybe.
Mhm.
She's not as in the groove yet, I guess. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's a pilot. What are you gonna do?
She played it off well, you know what I mean? But also too, was that just her? Was that her character? You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you
kind of
put
coming
yourself
in.
in the shoes. Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess moving on, like I said, we start off in Washington. That's when you meet Dana Scully. She's meeting with Division Chief Scott Levins, which is Charles Siafi, and a seemingly anonymous government official, which is a cigarette smoking man. This is where she gets assigned to work with Fox Mulder on the X Files. Her whole point is just to kind of give some legitimacy to him.
Mhm.
She's basically there to debunk any fucking crazy theories that he has,
Right.
and
Right.
obviously she kind of gets drawn
Absolutely.
in
So
to his beautiful eyes. And
oh my god. What a handsome fellow he is, man.
dude, I'll say this, man. I watched Californication just because of David Duchovny, and I watched Evolution. Like anything he's in,
Mhm.
I always try to check out, even
Oh,
though I
that's
know he's got
awesome.
that Return to Me. I don't think I've ever seen that one, but
I heard good things about that, though.
I know that's supposed to be all sweet, right?
Yeah. Well, shit, this project is gonna take 2 years, so my after that, might as well look into those, you know?
Yeah, we'll just this is basically just gonna become a David Duchovny podcast, I guess.
Sure, absolutely.
And then so moving on, Blevins just kind of tells her, yeah, you're just here to debunk Mulder's work. Then she ends up going downstairs meeting Mulder. This is how he gets her into this case, shows her the photos, kind of gives her the theory on everything, shows the body marks, similarities between her death and the others across the country. He believes it's extraterrestrial, but the skeptical Scully,
Mhm.
not really buying into the bullshit. So, I mean, from there, they just straight up fly to Oregon. Oregon? Did I say that weird?
Oregon, I think is how to say
Oregon. Oregon, no. So,
it.
yeah, as they're flying, the plane encounters turbulence. Ooh, foreshadowing.
Hmm.
And then drive to the woods. Agent's radio goes crazy. Mulder gets out of his car, spots an X on the road. That'll come into play later. Then Mulder arranges the exhumation of the third victim, Ray Soames. Soames, yeah, I got that right. Despite the protests of the doctor, who pulls up in his fancy 1993 Jeep, nearly goes to fisticuffs with Mulder. Yeah, he's an asshole. So then they exhume the body, obviously, and then come to find out after the straps break and it takes a tumble, we find what is described to as a orangutan. Is that
Hmm.
how they a chimpanzee?
Yes.
Completely. What's the word? You're a medical guy. What would you call that? It's almost like a mummified kind of body.
Yeah, exactly. It was
Desiccated.
mummified, decayed
Yeah,
fucking specimen of something.
clearly not normal.
No, no, not at all. And I would like to say that when that strap broke in that scene and the the casket like was going down that hill and it opened, it was very like Naked Gun-ish kind of feel. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
kind of. I said to you, it was like, this is how the Wishmaster started.
Right.
Nothing good ever comes from straps breaking.
Seriously. Yeah. It was just weird. But maybe that's just us because we're like really on the morbid side of humor, but that was
Yeah,
kind of
a little,
funny.
little too much, I guess, maybe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So that's so we lead into the what you call it, the autopsy. That's when Scully finds the implant in the nasal cavity.
Hmm.
So after that, we get Mulder and Scully going to the psychiatric hospital where Soames was committed before his death, and this is where we meet Billy Miles and the wheelchair-bound Peggy Odell. Odell suffers from a nosebleed during this encounter, and while they're struggling on the floor, that's when our
Hmm.
slick ass Mulder goes in and while they're struggling on the ground, kind of shows Scully the marks.
Hmm.
Scully kind of bolts out afterwards, like, "What the fuck, Mulder?
Right.
You knew
Exactly.
this the whole time. How did you know this?"
Like,
It's like, "Cause I know."
yep, he had this whole plan to get her there. Like he knew that he was going to be able to shape her and mold her into this case. Mold her into this case.
Oh, I see what you did there. So pretty early for that.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice
yeah.
job. Nice job.
Thank you.
So moving on that night, the agents investigate the forest. Scully discovers strange ash on the ground, as we tend to notice out in the forest. You know,
Just
eh,
mixed in with the silt, you know what I mean? No big deal.
yeah, but moving
Mhm,
on.
mhm,
So the local detective arrives, orders them to leave. They drive back to the motel. Mulder and Scully encounter a bright flash of light, and their car loses power at the same spot where Mulder had the earlier spray painted cross.
mm.
Mulder then realizes 9 minutes had disappeared after the flash between 9:03 and 9:12. Phenomenon reported by alien abductees. You ever heard of this?
No, no,
Anything like
never.
that with are you well read on your alien abducteeisms?
You know, the funny thing is that I would say over the past like 6 months, I've gotten more and more into this just because of the whole Tom DeLonge thing. You know what I mean?
I feel like a
Um,
lot of people are doing that.
yeah, man. Well, it's funny because the year 2020, they're actually our government's coming out and saying that yes, there have been experiences with UFOs, and we haven't even fully devoted the attention that it deserves because we're so focused on everything else that's going on right now.
Yeah.
But I will say,
Separate government related shit.
yeah, exactly. I will say that I was into this episode the entire time, but once they were in the car, I was in my head, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna go back to that place where Mulder put the X, and I was not disappointed at all. Like everything for it being 90s, you would you would expect kind of like some cheesiness, you know what I mean, some corniness, but it was done really well. Like Mulder was looking down at his digital watch and was going all crazy, and the compass was going all nuts, and you got the light. Dude, I got like chills because it was such an awesome scene.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's like just talking about other pilot episodes. Gotham, I thought was cheesy as fuck, and that came out what 5 years ago, five
Yep.
6 years ago, maybe by now.
Mhm. Came out 5, 6 years ago, and it feels like it's been on for 25 years.
7 seasons too long by
Right.
now. God, what an awful show. That's why
Yeah.
we're not doing that one.
No, we're not.
So, go back to the motel. Mulder tells Scully that his sister Samantha had vanished when he was 12, gives all the backstory. Then the agents receive an anonymous call telling them that Peggy Odell died. That's where they visit the scene and find Odell's body, but no wheelchair. Yeah, that's to be expected. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's where they're informed she was killed running into traffic. She died at 9:03 p.m.
Mhm.
Ooh.
And Scully was the one that noticed that right away.
Yeah, she took
Yep.
note of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, this is all right. This is when Mulder is informed that the desiccated body had been stolen from the morgue. The agents returned to the motel to find it on fire. All their evidence destroyed. That's when we meet Teresa, Neiman's daughter. She contacts the agents for help. She tells them that they're awakened in the middle of the woods several times and fears for her life. She has the same marks and develops a nosebleed. This is when they're sitting in what would you call that? A little
Like a little diner.
for us, it's like a Mr. Goodies.
Yeah, exactly.
You order your food, you got your drinks.
Yep.
This is where they're talking about alien abduction and shit. So
Yep. That
interesting
real like
choice.
yeah, the brown bag and styrofoam container to go place,
Yes,
you know?
yes, yep. That's the one. So that's when Peggy kind of fills him. No, not Peggy. Peggy's dead at this point. Teresa, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when she fills him in. So, it was the four of them after school or some shit. They got abducted, and that's when her father breaks in with the detective, who is revealed to be Billy Miles' father, who is the God. We haven't even mentioned Billy Miles yet, have we?
Mm-mm.
He's the one that was, as Scully called it, a vegetable.
Yeah,
Vegetable just
yeah.
laying in there.
Yeah, shout out to all the '90s horrible nomenclature.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yeah,
So
so he's in this bed, you know what I mean, this entire time. So
yeah,
like you're
bedridden,
thinking,
hasn't moved at all.
yep.
Peggy's like comatose, I guess you would say, just blinks and
Mhm.
kind of breathes. I guess shits the bed apparently a lot.
Mhm.
And then so that's yeah, so this is where we meet Billy Miles' father. They arrive and take her away. Then the agents wonder about the bodies of the first two victims. They return to the cemetery where they find out that the graves have already been dug up and the coffins are missing. Mulder realizes that Billy is responsible for bringing the victims to the woods. Not sure how he kind of came across that, if I'm being honest with you.
Mhm.
I don't know how he put that together. I'm curious if you have any thoughts.
No, the thing is like I almost feel like he's worked on this case before. That's the kind of the way that I
Got some
took it.
background into it.
Yeah, like he kind of knew what was going on and he was just waiting for that piece to
Basically, kind of just taking her by the hand and leading her along this one, right?
Yep,
Stringing her
absolutely.
along.
Yep. But she did not disappoint, you know what I mean? You could tell at that point, and I think it was obviously when they're in the car together. She was just like, "Well, this is how it is. This is what's going to happen." And what did he say? He said that we need to file our own report, and she said we're going to get the evidence and we're going to file our own report. So like he knew at that point that, "Yep, I got her. This is happening."
And one thing I kind of glossed over too is before the hotel even caught on fire, she kind of comes in kind of scared that she's got these marks on her.
Right.
And we have a little bit of sexual tension.
A little bit. Very
She
very
kind of gets
odd.
down to her skivvies, which was
Yep. Yep.
I'm not complaining.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't bookmark that time on Hulu to go back now that I've watched it, so I can go back with the whole like, the whole like look.
Yeah. Oh, that
Oh,
look back? Yeah, I
yep, the
called that
look
out.
back. Yep.
It's
But
becoming the sex files real quick here. I apologize to everybody in advance.
but I mean, it showed in that moment of trust. You know what I mean? That here she thought that she was gonna be the next marked one, as we say, and where does she go? She just busts right in, busting in the, as we had said, the high waisted cotton panties of the 1990s.
Yes, very well done.
Yep.
Very mature.
Yes. Yes.
So back to the stuff. Mulder realizes Billy's responsible. Curious if anybody out there wants to throw in some feedback. Tell us what they think
For sure.
for comments and all that shit. So return to the woods again. They encounter Detective Miles, but hear a scream and find Billy nearby with Teresa in his arms. There's a flashlight, and Billy and Teresa are recovered unharmed. I wonder what deal with that was.
Right. Yeah. Totally fine. Little bit of dust on him.
Yeah, it's all good. He's fine. And then, so to wrap this up, we got a couple weeks later. Billy Miles is put under hypnosis. He recalls how he was abducted in the forest as he and some classmates celebrated the graduation. Over time, the classmates were subjected to tests by aliens and later killed when the tests failed. Scully provides Blevins with a metal implant and the only remaining piece of evidence. She later learns that from Mulder that Billy's case files are missing. Meanwhile, the cigarette smoking man stores the implant away in a Indiana Jones esque type warehouse that we come to find out is the Pentagon,
Right.
where apparently there's a whole goddamn basement of the Pentagon dedicated to alien, you know,
Yep.
evidence.
Yep.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about this episode?
I feel really excited. It's got me hooked immediately. It's got that rose noir crime grittiness, like I said, with mixed with the dark humor, mixed with some alien force. I don't know. I obviously know that the X Files is all alien, but I'm curious to see, is there going to be like
Well, let me
paranormal?
let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe this is a controversial opinion in X Files lore and fandom, but my favorite episodes are usually the ones that are one offs, like the monster
Okay.
episodes, and sometimes all this shit kind of comes back in for the bigger arc. But there's always the alien arc
Hmm.
that it's going to be basically throughout this entire the entire show, and there's going to be a few episodes here and there that are going to tie this the bigger overarching story together. And I always found those to be kind of my least favorite because I mean nothing ever really gets settled, you know. Otherwise, that's the
Hmm.
end of the show.
Right.
But I feel like it's just carrot pieces here and there leading you on, and sometimes it gets kind of convoluted. But
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to all these fun episodes that one offs. I
Yeah.
think they're
Okay.
going to be easier to talk about because this is going to get bigger and crazier the more we go.
Oh, I'm so excited. I seriously cannot wait, man. It seems like something that's gonna be awesome to like make little cracks and stuff about, because it's the 90s, you know what I
And
mean?
you know,
And
it's cool too because they kind of get into it really quick in these this first season. I think we got one more that's kind of more overarching, kind of alien,
Mhm.
kind of setting it up. I think maybe episode 3 or 4 coming up is where get our first like monster of the week, as they call them,
Oh,
and
cool. That's
that's going to
awesome.
be the infamous Tombs episode
Ooh.
or
Now
Squeeze, one of the two. I know it's that guy. There's a two-parter. God, maybe I'm spoiling this for you. I should shut up.
now I can tell you the only thing that I know is what we've talked about previously is that there was some sort of banned episode because of the content. Is that on Hulu?
Yeah,
Or
if not, I should have it.
okay. Okay.
I'll look. That's in season 4, maybe
Okay.
later. I can't remember the season, but I know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
That's the
So
episode Home.
okay, that's right. Yeah, that's the only thing I know about this show. Overall I think that this episode was great. At no point did I find it particularly cheesy or piloty kind of feel like it just felt like you just boom, you're in, this is it.
Yeah, I really can't say enough about it as
Yeah.
far as everything you just said. Not really cheesy to me at all,
Hmm.
and pretty good for a pilot.
Oh hell yeah. My only question is who tipped off Mulder in the motel that Peggy died?
I think that was Teresa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it was her. She didn't identify herself until they found Peggy's body. Obviously, though.
Gotcha. Yep.
But yeah, I don't know if I've missed anything. For the plot, I kind of just been reading off of Wikipedia, so
Hmm.
I apologize. I should just take notes myself, which I'm going to next time. But since we watched it for the first time together, I didn't think it would be a good idea.
Oh, for sure. And this is our pilot, so to speak.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah,
So if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism, be much appreciated.
absolutely. I do want to throw out there real quick because I don't want your hard work to go unnoticed. You had listed some trivia information that I think I would like us to go over. 'Cause-
Submit. Yeah,
Yeah,
would you consider trivia? Or would you want to call it just random facts
random
or
facts. Yeah, I guess we
random
could do
facts?
random facts. Yeah.
Let me see which one's the one you sent me. The trivia here, huh?
So cheesy. That was cheesy. I'm sorry. I'm learning too.
So I labeled this under trivia, but it's just random shit nobody sees. In the scene on the plane, the man who is sitting behind Scully is David Duchovny's father.
That's pretty awesome.
That's just yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's
That's
nothing to the
awesome.
story, just more like cool shit for learning.
Yeah.
Next one we got the look, and in fact, the inspiration for the personality of Scully in the first episode was based on Clarice Starling. Obviously, we already touched on that.
Hmm.
This one here, this episode takes place on March 7th, 1992. Just to give everyone a timeline. When Mulder and Scully wake up After their 9-minute time loss, it's 9:13 p.m. This is the same time that they see lights above Air Force Base in episode 2. So something to look forward to.
Oh, that's cool, man.
So I kind of kept it short. Some of those
Yeah.
things were, who the hell was really going to care about some of those?
I that David Duchovny's father thing is awesome. Like, hey, Dad,
Yeah.
I'm supposed
Yeah.
to be on
It's
this
David
pilot.
Duchovny's, his dad in the
Yeah,
background. Yeah. I saw his
yeah.
ass there. I was like, why is that guy sitting there?
That's awesome. This was super fun to do. I'm glad this whole thing was your idea, and for you to ask me to do this, I think is super fucking awesome. I think we vibe well together, and I think it at least will be fun for me and you to be with somebody that has no idea what's about to happen. So
Oh, for sure. I'm
yeah,
like, I couldn't have asked for like a better person to watch this with because at least you're open minded, you're excited about it.
I'm very
And
excited.
then, yeah, you haven't seen anything before.
No, nothing
It's
at all.
awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah,
It's
you
gonna
got me
be one
excited.
hell of a ride, sir.
Yes, sir. I
And we're
can't
gonna
wait.
do the movies too. I'm not gonna
Okay,
forget about those.
okay.
And then yeah, dude. I'm so excited. Like I know this is probably the shittiest version of what this episode is or what the show is going to be, but
Yeah,
I'm so excited for what's coming up.
me
It's
too.
only gonna get better from here.
Absolutely, that's true.
Now,
We'll
I'm
learn.
assuming because of this, we're giving it a thumbs up for this one.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep.
I don't want you to hold back on me, all right?
Oh, I won't. I will be honest with you. And we were watching. So for the people that don't know this, we watched the episodes together right before we filmed this. Now, Agent Davis will make his notes and everything because he's obviously leading the show. But you're getting the full reaction from me. So if I came out, I was like, "Oh yeah, it was really good," but the entire time while we're watching it, I'm like, "Oh, this is lame." Like you're getting the pure reaction, so you know how I'm gonna be with this. So
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun doing the rankings at the end of the season. There are
yeah.
a couple of duds on this season. Yeah. And I think they're gonna be fun to at least talk about and kind of shit on a little bit.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, when you do 24 episodes of TV, like I don't think anything pulls off 24 episodes well all
No,
season.
no, not at
So,
all.
but that's the style back then, man.
Yeah, we'll make it entertaining.
Yes. So again, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, pointers, whatever you'd like to see. Maybe add some tidbits. And if there's anything we get wrong, please put it in the comments and I'll correct it on the next episode. Any additional thoughts and ideas that I think are worth sharing, I will share right here. Otherwise, if you're listening on podcast, do the same thing. I don't give a fuck. Find us on Facebook. I will put up a link eventually.
Mhm. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. We just got to start this motherfucker. So
We
I
should.
don't know. You got any other thoughts?
The only thing is that since this is, essentially like a project I was thinking all day, I would like to note that today is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. So it will be
Ooh.
fun to look back when we're all done and go back on this episode and see what the date is.
Oh, you're gonna date us, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna date us and see how it goes.
All right. If you made it to the end, thanks for checking us out. We will see
Okay.
you next week for Deep Throat.
Oh,
We
even better.
got to come up with a clever way to end this. I don't have one yet. I'm
No, not yet.
unprepared.
Not yet. You got just run the title card for the contact us.
Yeah, the one that we didn't use in the intro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll go add the intro
Oh,
later.
we do have a title card.
Yeah.
I'll play the exit on there for the
There
intro.
you go. Awesome. I love that, man.
I want to believe you'll be back next week. That was it. That was
I like that.
awful. It's forced. I promise it'll get better from here.
Just got it. God damn it.
All right, later.
Thanks.